Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for requesting this private tapping session that Christine and I are getting ready to do. What I want to express is that if you haven't already had something to drink, hydration is really important before you do EFT tapping because the energy and the water just work better together than when you're dehydrated. Also, science. So we're going to be tapping today on what would you say it is, Christine? Is it weight? Is it uncomfortability in the body? What's the struggle for you?
I think, because I think like so many people, over the last 2 years, I've put on some weight. I would like to feel more comfortable in my body.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily need to be I'm not going to be a bodybuilder or anything like that, but I want to feel more comfortable in my body, and also be attracted as well to those foods that are really nourishing and good for myself,
Okay.
and stay away from those things that are inflammation builders, so to speak.
Okay. What kind of things do you feel like you're eating right now that aren't serving you?
Probably massive amounts of coffee, which I'm sure is not really great for my digestion.
It contributes to the cortisol too.
Yes, but I don't really. That's the thing is that I really don't. I don't eat that much. But when I do eat, it's like I feel that inflammation comes, and being uncomfortable in my own body. So that's what I would really like to work on.
Yeah. How's your sense of intuition? Do you feel like you're
Very
pretty
good?
in tune?
Pretty good. Yes.
Very good. Do you ever do muscle testing?
I have.
We're talking about like where you kind of like ask yourself about things. You either use a pendulum or like you can do like muscle testing with your fingers.
Yes, I've done the muscle.
Question.
I've done the muscle testing. I prefer the pendulum because it seems to be reactive to me really.
I mean, just an idea outside of even what we're getting ready to do would be to muscle test on different foods and see.
Absolutely.
Hey, is this good for my body? Do I need more of this? Do I need less of this? Is this causing me to feel inflamed or, adding to my stress or anything else? And getting some answers from your own body and your own intuition might be really powerful for you. So what would it be like for you how would it feel? Is there a certain amount of weight? Like, are you connecting with a certain amount of weight or a feeling in the body that you're just wanting to be healthier or?
Oh, I would be happy with 10 or 15, sayonara. That would be fabulous. I think that would, I'd be in a good space. Again, I don't have unrealistic goals of myself.
What would that new space
10
be?
or 15
like,
would feel
like? If you're like putting yourself in that vortex and you're already there, like what does it feel like for you to have achieved that?
Just moving lighter throughout the world, feeling good in my clothes and things like that. Being able to wear things that I haven't been able to wear would be great. I could actually take them out of the closet and wear them.
Are there particular foods you crave? Like that aren't good?
Yeah, well, I'm not a sweets person. Like I don't crave sugary like candies or things like that. I do like like popcorn. I like the crunchy, salty kind of things. Okay. Yes. And well, in coffee, I do. In the morning, that's because of my schedule is so wonky where I have to be on very early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll wake up as early as I can, and of course I'll have that. That's the thing. Having that coffee. Is there something else that I could do? Yes, probably go out, take a walk, and have some tea or have massive amounts of water before. That would be better for myself. I know that, but what we do is we have that little routine, right, and that habit. So that's something that I think would probably, if I could limit that would be better.
Breaking the habit of being ourselves is one of the most powerful things we can do.
Yes. Yes.
Getting out of those routines and feeling the uncomfortable things that come up for you when you do that. So let's say some morning in the near future, you decide you're going to do that. And you do take a walk first before your coffee. Maybe you're going to still have your coffee, but you take a walk first and you have, 16 ounces of water. You start your day paying attention and being conscious of what's going on in your brain while you're doing that, what it's telling you, what the negative inner critic is saying, what, beliefs and things are coming out can be really powerful. So the reason I brought up cravings is because EFT is insanely effective for craving. So if there was a food in particular or foods that you felt like, gosh, this is really holding you back, this could be something that you could do like literally like a session. I've had clients that have had like just crazy cravings. I feel like there's no way. And like a quarter of a session, we were done with it. Like
Wow.
crazy. But let's just kind of work on that overall feeling. So when you think about the stress and the negative feelings associated with your weight right now, what are some of them? Like, what are the things that you're saying to yourself about, your weight or your body and stuff right now that are not
Oh,
kind?
just yeah, they're not kind. I do check myself sometimes though, because I know how powerful our minds are and our thoughts and our beliefs. So when I have a critical thought about my physical body, I'll jump back in and I'll go, hey, it's like it's like somebody coming in and like talking to a bully at a schoolyard going, don't you talk to that child that way. So I will try and jump in every now and then, but yeah, because we're hard on ourselves as well. But I'm conscious of when I have those negative thoughts. That's one thing. I am conscious of it, but it just happens because you're with yourself all the time.
Sure does. I get that. So when you think about the stress about the weight that you're carrying right now and where you want to be, and that, you're not there yet, how do you feel like you are on that scale of 0 to 10, where 10's like, I'm really stressed out about it and I just can't take it anymore. And 0 is like, I don't really care if I lose weight or not.
I'm like in the 6 7s, um, I'm not like somebody who's going to beat myself up over it, and go, oh, and be cruel to myself. But it's something that is definitely there with me. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to tap on that kind of feeling. I will preface this by saying I always feel like weight and body issues have things that are so much deeper than anything we can touch on in a few minutes today. And, if there are past traumas or things that have made you feel unsafe, to put that on, because it's not just that we were bored during COVID, it's that there was a lot of fear and there's a lot of other things where our nervous system is like, oh, hey, have a little bit more food, A, because like maybe you might need it because who knows when you're going to get it again, and B, because it helps you feel a little bit better and it's a little bit numbing. So there's all different reasons why we do it, but just getting conscious of that and finding those deeper root causes to work on is really where the transformation is going to happen. Because with EFT, getting to the root is where everything gets solved. And that's what we always aim to get to. And that's why when I do client work, I'm often going back like as far as I can into their, when they were a baby, even sometimes before they were born, and then working forward, because it's like a domino rally where when we can knock over something that's related to the same thing that's happening now from way back when, we get everything in between too. And that's what makes the work so fast and effective and everything else. So we're going to start on the karate chop point on the side of the hand. And if you guys are listening and doing this and you're having, body weight issues or shame around your body or any other, feelings of stress about something that you want to be different with your body right now or your health, then tap along with us. And for people that are listening, you can also change the words. Like I mentioned in the podcast, which I highly recommend listening to if you haven't already. It likes being specific. So the more specific you can be about what you're feeling, the better. That said, if you just tap along and say what I'm saying, it's not going to make anything, worse for you by saying something that doesn't totally align. And we're allowing the negative energy to release as we do this. So I'm going to have you repeat after me, Christine.
Okay. All right.
Even though I am not thrilled with my weight right now.
Even though I'm not, what did you say?
I'm not thrilled with my weight right now.
Yes. Even though I'm not thrilled with my weight right now.
Not really loving the state of the body that I'm in.
Not really loving the state of the body I am in.
I honor the feeling and want to accept myself anyway.
I honor the feeling and want to accept myself anyway.
Even though I've been through a lot the last couple of years.
Even though I've been through a lot the last few years.
And no wonder I've gained some weight.
And no wonder I've gained some weight.
I still don't like it.
I still don't like it.
But I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
But I want to love, accept, and forgive myself.
Even though it feels like it might be hard.
Even though it feels like it might be hard.
To lose the weight I want to lose.
To lose the weight I want to lose.
And to be able to keep doing the things I'm doing now.
And to be able to keep doing the things I'm doing now.
Even though I know they're not good for me.
Even though I know they're not good for me.
I want to accept myself anyway.
I want to accept myself anyway.
all this extra weight that I don't like.
All this extra weight that I don't like.
I feel like my body is just hanging on to it
I feel like my body is just hanging on to it
and that I can't get it to budge.
and that I can't get it to budge.
Don't even eat that much.
I don't even eat that much,
But I know I'm not putting the healthiest stuff into it.
but I know that I'm not putting the healthiest stuff into it.
And I don't really feel like eating a lot of the healthy stuff.
And I really don't feel like eating a lot of the healthy stuff.
Just want the coffee, lots and lots of coffee.
Just got the coffee, lots and lots of coffee.
Can I just live on coffee?
Could I just live on coffee?
But the result is that I'm really uncomfortable in my body.
But the result is I'm really uncomfortable in my body.
And I don't feel good in it.
And I don't feel good in it.
Sure, I love myself and I try to release my critical thoughts.
Sure, I love myself and I try and release my critical thoughts.
But something's missing.
But something's missing.
There's some level of self-love I have yet to achieve.
There's some level of self-love that I have yet to achieve.
And all of these cravings and things to break through.
And all of these cravings and things to break through.
And that's on top of my daily routine.
And that's on top of my daily routine.
And I don't have time to change my routine.
And I don't have time to change my routine.
It just feels like it's going to be a struggle.
It just feels like it's going to be a struggle.
And I just keep doing what I'm used to doing.
And I just keep doing what I'm used to doing.
It's the whole thing of I know better, but I can't do better.
It's the whole thing of say that again?
I know better, but I can't do better.
I know better, but I can't do better. Yes.
And that gets my inner critic all fired up.
And that gets my inner critic all fired up.
And then I find myself judging myself for the decisions I'm making and the things that I'm eating.
And I find myself judging myself for the things that I'm
Eating and the decisions that I'm
eating
making.
and the decisions I'm making.
And that doesn't feel good either.
And that doesn't feel good either.
But if I take a step back
But if I take a step back
and think about the fact
and think about the fact
that what I focus on, I create.
that what I focus on, I create,
It'll naturally lead me
it will naturally lead me
to a place on focusing on the good,
to a place on focusing on the good,
of really appreciating this body of mine,
of really appreciating this body of mine,
all the ways that it shows up for me
all the ways that it shows up for me
without me even asking it to,
without me even asking it to,
day in and day out.
day in and day out.
And that it does that unconsciously.
And that it does that unconsciously.
And because it does it unconsciously,
And because it does it unconsciously,
I get to do things like record podcasts
I get to do things like record podcasts
and work with amazing women
and work with amazing women
and enjoy my life.
and enjoy my life.
So it's really important to me to give back to my body.
So it's really important for me to give back to my body.
And I'm open to the possibility
And I'm open to the possibility
that I could treat it a little better.
that I could treat it a little bit better.
That I could make sure that I'm less stressed out
That I can make sure that I'm less stressed out
so that it can relax and release.
so that it can relax and release.
I can do things like this and lower my cortisol,
I can do things like this and lower my cortisol,
which will allow my body to release the weight also.
which will allow my body to release the weight also.
And that I can start making healthier choices one day at a time.
And that I can start making healthier choices one day at a time.
It doesn't have to happen all at once.
It doesn't have to happen all at once.
It's already happening.
It's already happening.
Now we're going to tap on the sides of our fingers. With love.
With love.
Acceptance.
Acceptance.
Tolerance.
Tolerance.
And compassion.
And compassion.
I now forgive.
And now forgive.
And I call my power back into my body.
And I call my power back into my body.
This body that I love.
This body that I love.
That supports everything I do.
That supports everything that I do.
Back of the hand between the ring finger and the pinky. And that creates a beautiful container for my soul and my spirit.
And that creates a beautiful container for my soul and my spirit.
I am whole, complete, and powerful.
I am whole, complete, and powerful.
All right, Christine, I want you to take a nice deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. I caught you coughing, which is also a sign of energetic release as you're doing something like this. You may feel compelled to yawn or stretch or move in some way. Also, just kind of the energy moving. Continue tapping. You can stop tapping, whatever feels good to you. But I want you to kind of come back to the feeling of being in your body and, you're sitting, that you're sitting, you're here. And where do you feel like you are on that scale of 0 to 10 right now about, your stress about this happening for you?
I feel like there's a shift. I don't know exactly how to put it into words, but it's like as if my body's like saying, thank you. Like, thank you for recognizing us, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. It totally makes sense. Totally makes sense.
And then thirsty as well.
Yeah, well, definitely make sure you drink. I know you didn't really have a chance to hydrate beforehand. Hydrate throughout the day. I know it's morning for you where you are. So, ideally you hydrate before, you hydrate after, throughout the day. A lot of energy is moving. And you may also notice throughout the day, and I encourage you, and I encourage anybody who's, doing this tapping round that's making their own breakthroughs to let me know what happens. Like there might be
of course I'm going to let you know
consciousness ahas that come up for you during the day where it's like, whoa, that's weird. That just hit me. But it's because we've removed a certain layer of energetic blockages and now new things get to shine through. Sometimes that can be triggering. Sometimes it can be amazingly awesome. Either way, we have a way to deal with it and get to the next place. But I definitely encourage people who have done this to shoot me an email, shoot Christine an email. She probably wants to hear from you too. And, let us know what happened for you, what you felt. I know for me, I often describe the feeling when I do EFT tapping of it's like you're really present, like you're really here now. I often compare it to like going to like a crazy concert where you have like floor seats, you're kind of like mosh pit area bouncing around. It's great, but like you don't have any kind of like overview of what's really happening. You're just in it and it's kind of chaotic. And then as I tap, it's like almost like I'm moving up to the like nosebleed seats where I all of a sudden can see the whole picture. It's kind of clear and calm and I feel a lot better and I can just really understand the next steps and where I need to go from there.
Well, and I love that we picked something that I think a lot of people can, especially women, but men as well who have suffered with that, again, not feeling completely, at ease in their body. And so I'm hoping that that people can join along and do that as well, especially if they're feeling that uncomfortableness or that inflamed, a lot of times too, it can be stress. The amount of stress that we go through and put on ourselves has also a physical, as a physical. So it might not all be food, but I just like the fact that we were in contact with that and also saying that I love and honor, my body as well. And we need to say those messages as well to our
Absolutely.
bodies.
But we need to genuinely feel them, which this allows to
Ex-
remove some of that stuff where like maybe before you did this, you were like, like,
Yeah,
really
exactly.
feeling it.
Yeah, I love
But,
you.
like you're feeling it now, right? Like it's a
Yes.
true authentic feeling that you're having, and that can lead to more of that. And the whole, what we focus on, we create. So focus more on all the great things that you're doing for yourself, all the ways you're showing up for yourself every day so that you can create more of that instead of, going down the rabbit hole of like, oh, I drank too much coffee or I ate too much popcorn or I'm never going to get there or whatever, because that will really keep you in that cycle like we talked about on the show. So thank you so much for being vulnerable, for sharing, for tapping, for leaning into something new, and for trying it with me. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for requesting doing it with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.